You know how it is with Google, you blink and bam, there's a whole new universe of tech out there.
Seriously.
It really feels like just moments ago we were trying to wrap our heads around their last set of announcements, right?
Yeah.
And now with 25 IO Keynote, it's like they've cranked the dial way up.
Up to 11, yeah.
So your mission, should you choose to accept it, is clear. We're diving deep into the biggest news, the coolest reveals from that keynote.
Absolutely. And this wasn't just, a few small tweaks here and there.
No way.
The I/O keynote dropped some major bombshells. I mean, significant leaps forward in their core AI models.
Mm-hmm.
A really deep integration of AI into the everyday tools you probably already use.
Right.
And some, frankly, fascinating research that gives us a peek at what's coming down the pipeline.
Exactly. So we've waded through all the demos, the jargon, the hype, and we're here to distill it all down to what really matters to you. Think of this as your personal briefing on where Google's AI strategy is heading and, maybe more importantly, how it could actually impact your daily life.
Sounds good.
Okay, so let's get started. Let's talk about the brains of the operation, this foundational AI models we keep hearing about.
Right. Well, what's immediately obvious is just the incredible speed in which their Gemini models are evolving.
It's fast.
It really is. They highlighted an ELO score increase, get this, over 300 points since the original Gemini Pro first launched.
Wow. Okay, so what does that mean in plain English for people listening?
Well, think of it like this.
Yeah.
It's a massive upgrade in the model's overall intelligence, its ability to handle complex tasks just much more effectively.
Right, so it's not just a small bump. We're talking significant improvement.
Huge. And Gemini 2.5 Pro, that seems to be the new top dog now. It's leading the pack on the El Marino leaderboard.
Like it aced all the tests.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah.
But it's not just about general smarts, is it? The improvements in its coding abilities sounded particularly impressive.
Oh, yeah.
They are. Gemini 2.5 Pro has not only reached the top of the web dev arena for coding tasks, but it's surpassed a previous version by a whopping 140 ELO points.
Wow.
So for you, if you're someone who might need AI help with coding or even just understanding technical stuff, this suggests a much more capable, much more reliable AI partner.
Okay. And here's a fun one they threw in, but it also kind of hints at something bigger, right? Gemini actually managed to complete the entire Pokemon Blue video game.
Chuckles. Yeah, I saw that.
Caught 'em all, beat the Elite Four, the whole thing. It might sound a bit quirky, maybe.
A bit.
But it points towards this idea they mentioned, artificial Pokemon intelligence. API, I guess.
Yeah. But what's fascinating about that, beyond just the fun factor, is that a game like Pokemon Blue, while it seems simple on the surface,
Right.
it actually requires navigating a pretty complex world, making strategic decisions, remembering a lot of information.
True. Lots of types, moves.
Exactly. So, Gemini mastering it gives a glimpse into its growing ability to handle more intricate, sort of real-world planning and problem-solving tasks that you might actually encounter.
Okay. So it's a proxy for more complex skills.
Precisely. But, all this brain power needs some serious muscle behind it, doesn't it?
Absolutely. Progress like this doesn't just, happen magically. We heard a lot about the underlying infrastructure.
We did. The 7th generation TPU, nicknamed Ironwood, that's the powerhouse making a lot of this possible.
TPU, the tensor processing unit.
Right. That's a specialized chip designed specifically for the massive demands of large-scale AI reasoning. They said it delivers a 10-fold increase in performance.
10 times.
Yeah. And that massive computing power, 42.5 exaflops per pod, which is just a mind-boggling number, that will eventually be available to businesses through Google Cloud, which means, down the line, faster and more powerful AI tools for everyone.
Okay. And that raw power, it's translating into tangible benefits for, the end user, right?
It is. They mentioned that Gemini models now hold the top 3 spots for how quickly they can generate text output tokens per second on El Arena.
So they're not just smart, they're fast. Really fast.
Incredibly fast. Plus, the cost of actually using these models is coming down.
That's always the good news.
It really is. And, the rate at which these tools are being adopted is just staggering.
Yeah.
A 50-fold increase in the amount of data they're processing every month, jumping from 9.7 trillion tokens to 480 trillion tokens in just 1 year.
Wow. That tells you how much demand there is for this kind of AI capability.
Absolutely. And we're also seeing a huge surge in the developer community using this stuff.
How big?
Over 7 million developers are now using the Gemini API. That's 5 times more than last year at I/O.
5 times.
And the usage of Gemini on their cloud AI platform, Vertex AI, that's up 40-fold.
40. Okay, so that suggests a massive wave of new AI-powered apps and services is probably heading our way.
Definitely. And it's not just developers. I mean, everyday users are interacting with Gemini on a massive scale, too.
Right, the Gemini app itself.
Exactly. It now has over 400 million active users every month.
That's huge.
And people are using the newer, more advanced 2.5 models, significantly more like a 45% usage increase there.
Okay.
Plus, the AI overviews you see in search, they're now reaching over 1.5 billion users monthly.
Billion with a B. That's incredible reach.
It is. And the introduction of this new AI mode sounds like the next big step in how we'll actually find information online.
Okay, so the foundation is strong, getting stronger, and it's being used by millions, billions even. But Google also showed off some really futuristic stuff, some transformative research projects. Let's dive into Google Beam. You might remember it as Project Starline.
Right, Starline. The core idea there is, well, to make video calls feel like you're actually in the same room as the person you're talking to. Like really in the room.
That holodeck feeling almost.
Kind of. And what's truly ambitious about Google Beam is the level of immersion they're aiming for.
How does it work?
They're using an array of 6 cameras and some very clever AI to transform standard 2D video into a realistic 3D image. And it's displayed on this special screen, a light field display.
Light field, okay.
It creates this sense of depth that's so real, they claim it feels like the person is right there in front of you. And it even tracks your head movements perfectly.
In real time.
In real time at 60 frames per second.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that they're partnering with HP to bring out early devices later this year, well, suggests this isn't just a lab experiment anymore.
Yeah, it's getting closer to reality, and they're already taking some of that underlying tech and bringing it into Google Meet, right? The translation thing.
Exactly. Real-time speech translation. English and Spanish are available now for subscribers, with more languages and, importantly, support for businesses coming soon.
That could really break down communication barriers, couldn't it?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, imagine having a conversation with someone who speaks a totally different language and it feels seamless, like you both just understand each other perfectly.
Yeah.
If you connect this to the bigger picture, you can see how these advancements, more immersive communication, instant translation, are making the world feel, I don't know, a lot smaller and more connected for you.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, another project that's evolving is Gemini Live. This started as Project Astra, right?
That's the one.
This is all about creating that truly universal AI assistant that can understand and interact with the world around you in a really natural way.
Yeah, they showed some funny early demos kind of highlighting the journey.
Right, the hiccups along the way.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But the core idea, using your phone's camera, maybe sharing your screen, to have an AI discuss what it sees, that's pretty powerful stuff.
So what's interesting about Gemini Live for you listening, what are the practical uses?
Well, I think the potential for practical, everyday help is huge. Whether you're, say, practicing for a job interview and want feedback on how you're coming across, or maybe you're trying to perfect your running form and need some real-time advice based on what the camera sees. The ability to interact with an AI that can actually see and understand your environment opens up a massive range of possibilities.
And it's rolling out now.
Yeah, rolling out to everyone on Android and iOS starting today.
Yeah.
So you can actually start experimenting with this kind of interaction right now.
Cool. Okay, now Project Mariner and Agent Mode. This sounds like a really significant leap towards a more proactive kind of AI.
Yeah, this is getting interesting.
We're talking about AI agents that can not only understand what you need, but can actually take actions on your behalf by using other tools. That sounds pretty futuristic.
This really gets to the heart of what a true AI assistant could be, right?
Yeah.
Not just answering questions, but doing things.
Exactly.
Project Mariner's ability to handle multiple tasks at once, up to 10 simultaneously, they said, and even learn new skills through this teach and repeat learning.
Teach and repeat?
Yeah, you basically show it how to do something.
Yeah.
It learns to repeat it. It suggests we're moving towards AI that can handle more complex multi-step requests for you. And making these computer use capabilities available to developers now through the Gemini API, that's crucial.
Why is that?
Because it will allow them to build all sorts of useful agent-like features into their own apps.
Yeah.
And the partnerships they announced with companies like Automation Anywhere and UiPath.
Right, the automation giants.
Yeah, it shows that this technology is already being looked at for real-world automation in businesses. Big potential there.
And agent mode within the Gemini app itself, that gives us a taste of what this could look like in our daily lives, right? They use an example, finding an apartment.
Yeah, finding an apartment in Austin, the AI searching listings, filtering based on your preferences, even offering to schedule viewings for you.
Imagine the time savings.
Exactly. It really highlights how much time and effort this could save you on complex tasks.
And they're working on standards for this?
They are. The development of an open standard called the Agent-to-Agent Protocol, plus making the Gemini tools compatible with existing automation platforms, it signals a collaborative effort to build this whole ecosystem of intelligent agents.
So different agents could work together.
That's the idea. And the experimental version of agent mode that's coming soon to subscribers. That will be a fascinating thing for you to try out and see how it can streamline everyday tasks.
Definitely one to watch. The concept of personal context also seems really important here.
Hugely important.
It's about making AI interactions more relevant by allowing Gemini models to securely access and use information from your Google apps, obviously, with your permission and control.
Right. Permission is key.
That could make a huge difference in how helpful AI can actually be.
What's exciting about personal context for you is the potential to move beyond generic AI responses to something that feels truly tailored to you.
Like it actually knows you.
Kind of. Imagine if your AI assistant knew your preferred coffee order from your past chats or emails and could suggest a local cafe you might like based on that. That's the kind of personalized help we're talking about.
Okay.
And Google is really emphasizing that you will have control over what information is used and how, which is, crucial for user trust. And if we tie this back to agent mode, you can see how having access to your personal context could make those agents even more effective at handling tasks for you, because they know what you like, what you need.
Makes sense. Okay, let's zoom in on the latest advancements in the core models themselves. Gemini 2.5 Pro and Flash. These were really presented as the cutting edge of Google's AI.
They really were. Gemini 2.5 Pro is being described as their most intelligent model to date, period, leading on multiple challenging benchmarks, including coding, even educational assessments, using something called LearnLM.
Okay, so top of the class.
Pretty much. And the fact that developers can already get a preview of this model means we'll likely see some incredibly powerful new applications emerging pretty soon.
Right. And Gemini 2.5 Flash is positioned as the more nimble and efficient model, correct?
That's right. Faster, lighter. They highlighted improvements in its reasoning, its coding abilities, and its capacity to handle really long pieces of text, long context.
And how does it stack up?
It's ranked just below Pro on those leaderboards, number 2, actually, so it's still incredibly capable.
So you get a good balance of power and speed.
Exactly. That balance seems key for making AI practical in a lot of different situations where you need speed maybe more than the absolute top intelligence.
And when can developers get their hands on these?
Flash will be generally available in early June, so very soon. Pro's following shortly after that.
Okay.
The new text-to-speech capabilities they announced are also really significant.
Tell me about that.
They have support for multiple speakers now, 2 voices initially, and what they're calling native audio output.
Native audio output.
Yeah. Imagine an AI voice that can convey emotion and nuance much better, even seamlessly switching between languages. They said over 24 languages.
Wow, so it wouldn't sound so robotic.
Hopefully not.
Yeah.
That native audio sounds like a real potential game changer for how we interact with AI.
Yeah.
The ability for the model to speak in a more expressive and natural way, maybe changing its tone or language mid-sentence, it could make conversations with AI feel much more human-like for you.
And they're putting this in their API.
They're previewing a version of it using 2.5 Flash in their live API right now. Suggests we could see this tech integrated into all sorts of conversational AI apps down the road.
Very cool. What about safety and transparency?
Good question. They did emphasize that they've strengthened the security protections within Gemini 2.5. As AI gets more integrated into our lives, ensuring its safety and security is paramount.
Absolutely critical.
And the introduction of thought summaries in both Pro and Flash is also interesting.
Thought summaries, what's that?
It basically gives us, or developers, a peek into how the model is actually arriving at its answer, its reasoning process.
Showing its work.
Kind of, yeah. Which can be really valuable for understanding its logic and maybe identifying potential issues or biases. More transparency.
Okay. And for developers worried about costs?
Right. The increased efficiency of 2.5 Flash, 22% gains, they said, and the extension of these thinking budgets to 2.5 Pro offer more control.
Thinking budgets.
Yeah, it's a way to control the trade-off between cost and latency versus the quality of the AI's output, so you can fine-tune it.
Gotcha. That level of control is really important for building practical, scalable AI applications.
Absolutely. And the demonstration they showed, the American Museum of Natural History Exhibit 1.
Oh yeah, the sketch to 3D animation.
Exactly. Where they created a 3D animation from just a simple sketch using Google AI Studio. And it even had spoken explanations powered by that native audio.
That was impressive.
It really brought the power of these models to life in a tangible way. And they're making starter code available in AI Studio, encouraging developers to jump in and start experimenting themselves.
Nice. And it's not just about Google's own tools, right? They're integrating 2.5 Pro elsewhere.
Correct. It's being integrated into popular coding environments, IDEs, and other Google products like Android Studio and their coding assistant, Gemini Code Assistant.
Okay. And they introduced something called Jules.
Yeah, Jules. It's described as an asynchronous coding agent, now in public beta.
Asynchronous, meaning?
Meaning it can handle more complex, longer-running coding tasks in the background. Things like updating a big project to a new version of Node.js or integrating with GitHub repositories.
Ah, so it can tackle the bigger grunt work jobs.
Potentially, yeah.
Yeah.
Jules could be a real workhorse for developers, taking on those time-consuming, often tedious tasks, freeing them up to focus on more creative problem solving.
Makes sense.
The integration with platforms like GitHub makes it even more useful in real-world development workflows for you.
Okay. We also got a glimpse of a couple of experimental things. Gemini diffusion.
Right. An experimental model that promises much faster text generation, like 5x faster than the current flashlight model, but with similar coding performance. Still in testing, though.
Faster's good. And deep think mode.
Yeah, deep think mode for 2.5 Pro. This is designed to push the absolute boundaries of the model's capabilities on really challenging academic and coding benchmarks.
Pushing the limits.
Exactly. It suggests they're constantly striving for even more advanced AI. While DeepThink is still undergoing safety evaluations with trusted testers, its impressive performance on things like the U.S. Mathematical Olympiad questions and advanced coding challenges hints at a potentially significant leap in AI reasoning and problem-solving abilities down the line.
Wow. Okay, Demis Hassabis also laid out this long-term vision, right? Gemini evolving into a world model.
Yeah, that was fascinating. An AI capable of understanding, planning, and even imagining through a kind of internal simulation of the world.
That sounds incredibly ambitious, like science fiction territory.
It is a very ambitious goal.
Yeah.
But it builds on their previous work, like training AI agents in complex game environments, remember AlphaGo.
Of course.
And their Genie 2 technology for creating interactive 3D worlds from images. The idea of a world model represents a really significant step towards a more general form of artificial intelligence, AGI.
And things like VO, the video model, fit into this.
They do. VO, their advanced video generation model that seems to understand basic physics, and Gemini Robotics, a specialized model for teaching robots useful tasks. They're all pieces of this larger puzzle, this world model vision.
Gotcha. And the overarching aim seems to be making the Gemini app itself, that go-to universal AI system we talked about, personal, proactive, really powerful.
Exactly. And the integration of features from Project Astra, the video understanding, screen sharing memory into Gemini Live, along with upgrades like that native audio, improved memory, and even the ability to control your computer. It feels like a tangible step in that direction.
That demo where it helped with the bike repair was a great illustration of that.
It really was. That bike repair demo showcased the potential of having a multimodal AI assistant that can not only see what you're doing, but also access information and guide you through complex tasks in a really natural, conversational way.
Yeah.
It points to a future where AI assistants can provide a much wider range of practical help for you in your daily life.
Okay, let's switch gears slightly. Let's talk about Google Search. They really emphasized how it embodies their core mission-making information universally accessible, and how Gemini models are making it smarter, more agent-like, and more tailored to you.
Right. And the success of AI overviews seems pretty clear based on the numbers they shared.
Yeah, over 1.5 billion people using them every month. That's a lot.
It is. And the fact that users are reporting higher satisfaction and are actually searching more frequently in areas where AI overviews are available shows that people are finding real value in them.
And visual search is growing, too.
Hugely. Significant growth in visual searches through Google Lens. 65% year-over-year growth, they said. Over 100 billion visual searches this year alone. It highlights how people like you are increasingly using images to find information.
Okay. And AI mode feels like the next big evolution for search itself.
It does. Designed for those longer, more complex questions where you might have more of a back-and-forth conversation with the AI.
Like you're discussing something with it.
Exactly. And the fact that Gemini 2.5 is being rolled out to search this week is a significant upgrade powering that.
So AI mode gets the new brain.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
It represents a substantial improvement in search's ability to understand and reason about more intricate queries. They talked of this query fan-out technique.
Stand out. What's that?
It's where the AI breaks down your complex question into multiple sub-questions
Okay.
and then issues multiple searches simultaneously across different parts of the web, including their knowledge graph, shopping graph, even local data from the Maps community.
So it searches smarter, broader.
Right. It allows for much more comprehensive and nuanced results for you, especially on tricky questions.
And there are more features coming to AI mode labs soon. Personalization.
Yeah, personalized suggestions based on your past searches, and the option to connect other Google apps, starting with Gmail, to provide that personal context we discussed earlier.
So search could know your restaurant preferences from your emails or your travel plans.
Potentially, yes, if you give it permission. This integration of personal context could make search incredibly relevant and helpful, maybe anticipating your needs and providing more tailored recommendations.
But again, user control is vital there.
Absolutely crucial, I stress that.
And deep search within AI mode? That sounds intense.
It does. It sounds like a game changer for really in-depth research. The idea is that it can conduct potentially dozens, maybe even hundreds of searches
Wow.
to generate expert-level reports on a topic, complete with links back to the original sources.
That could save a huge amount of time for anyone doing serious research, students, professionals.
Totally. Deep search could really transform how we approach research online, offering a much more efficient way to gather and synthesize information from a wide range of sources. And the inclusion of web links is important, right?
Yeah, so you can check the sources, verify.
Exactly. Allows you to verify the info and explore the source material yourself.
What about those agent capabilities? Project Mariner showing up in search.
Yeah, they show that integration. The example was finding affordable baseball tickets.
Right.
The AI searched multiple sites, compared prices in real time, analyzed seating charts maybe, and then provided direct links to purchase. It shows how search is becoming more proactive and helping you actually get things done.
So going beyond just finding info to actually accomplishing tasks.
Precisely. That's a key step towards a more agentic search experience. And they said they're extending this functionality soon to things like booking restaurant reservations and scheduling appointments for local services.
So search becomes even more of a do-it-all tool in your daily life.
Yeah, it seems to be the goal.
And the next level of this, the multimodal stuff, bringing Project Astra's live camera capabilities into AI mode. Search live.
Yeah, search live. That's really exciting. The demonstration where to help with a DIY home repair project using the phone's camera.
Identifying parts, showing steps.
Exactly. It gave a glimpse of how search could provide real-time visual assistance for all sorts of tasks. Home repairs, schoolwork help, learning new skills.
Yeah.
They did that elephant toothpaste demo too.
Right.
Search Live has the potential to transform how we interact with the physical world around us by providing immediate, context-aware assistance through our smartphone cameras. Imagine pointing your camera at a recipe and getting step-by-step video instructions, or identifying a plant instantly.
That would be incredibly useful. Okay, AI mode for shopping also sounded like a major upgrade.
Yeah, they're blending visual inspiration from Google Images with their huge shopping graph, over 50 billion product listings apparently,
50 billion.
and adding personalized recommendations. The example was finding a rug, considering you have a light gray couch and kids.
So it gets really specific.
Right. Helpful follow-up questions
Yeah.
too. And that virtual try-on feature for clothes they showed.
That looked very slick.
It really did. That was pretty impressive technology in action. They said it uses a custom image generation model trained specifically for fashion, plus advanced 3D shape understanding and realistic material detection.
So it actually looks like you wearing the clothes.
That's the goal. The custom AI model seems key to making it look so realistic.
And agentic checkout features too. Like it can buy things for you.
Yeah, price tracking and even automated purchasing using Google Pay. If you set it up. They showed it with a dress example.
Okay, that could really streamline online shopping.
It could. It feels like search is evolving from just a search engine into a more comprehensive AI-powered personal assistant for all sorts of online activities.
Finding, comparing, trying on, buying.
Exactly. These agentic capabilities in shopping represent a significant leap, and the integration with Google Pay adds convenience and security.
And when is this rolling out?
Visual shopping and agentic checkout are rolling out in the coming months. The try-on feature is available in labs today.
Okay. And you mentioned both AI overviews and AI mode are getting upgraded with that custom Gemini 2.5 this week.
That's right, so expect search to get even smarter very soon.
All right. The evolution of the Gemini app itself into that truly personal, proactive, and powerful AI assistant was another major focus area.
Definitely. Expanding the personal context it can access, allowing connection of more Google information beyond just search history, that can make it incredibly useful.
But again, with user control being front and center.
Always. They kept emphasizing that. The focus on personalization in the Gemini app is crucial for creating an assistant that truly understands your individual needs and preferences. By securely integrating info from across your Google services, it can provide more relevant, tailored help than ever before.
And the shift towards being proactive, like it anticipates your needs.
Yeah, that physics exam example was interesting, where it offered personalized quizzes and custom explainer videos based on the student's interests, like cycling and thermodynamics.
Right, making learning more relevant.
Exactly. That proactive approach has the potential to transform how we learn and manage our tasks. AI acting as a helpful guide that anticipates what you need before you even explicitly ask.
That could be a real game changer for learning and productivity.
I think so.
And the sheer range of powerful capabilities they're packing into the Gemini app with 2.5 Pro, it's becoming a creative powerhouse too, isn't it?
Absolutely. From generating code based on just a description, vibe coding, they called it.
Vibe coding.
Yeah, like make it look cool.
Yeah.
To inventing games, creating websites, generating videos with VO, generating and editing images with Imagen.
Wow.
It really highlights its versatility as a creative tool right there in your pocket, potentially for you, even if you don't have deep technical skills.
Okay, so they announced 5 key updates, 5 launches for the Gemini app today. What were they?
Right, 5 big ones. First, Gemini Live. We talked about it, interactive, natural voice conversations. Apparently 5x longer than typical text chats.
More engaging.
Yeah. Works in over 45 languages, 150 countries, and now includes camera and screen sharing. It's free on Android and iOS today.
Free is good, and connecting to other apps soon.
Yep, soon it'll connect to Calendar, Maps, Keep, and Tasks, becoming more of a central hub.
Okay, what's number 2?
Deep research. We touched on this too. Now allows uploading your own personal files to guide its research.
Huge for personalized insights.
Massive. Future integration planned with Google Drive and Gmail, which will make it even more powerful, and integration with Canvas.
Okay, so what's Canvas? That's number 3.
Yeah, Canvas. It's Gemini's interactive space for co-creation. Now it can transform things like reports into web pages, infographics, quizzes, even custom podcasts in 45 languages.
Custom podcasts, wow.
Supports that vibe coding too and easy sharing. They showed a comet simulation example. It looks like a fantastic way for you to both learn and share information in really engaging formats.
Definitely sounds useful. Number 4.
Gemini and Chrome. This brings the AI assistant directly into your desktop browser.
Okay, how does that work?
It understands the context of the web page you're currently viewing. So you can ask it questions about the page, ask for summaries, comparisons. They showed an example comparing reviews on a camping website.
Ah, very convenient. Save switching tabs or copy pasting.
Exactly. Seems like a really convenient way to integrate AI into your online workflow. Rolling out this week to Gemini subscribers in the US.
Okay. And the 5th launch?
Number 5 involves the generative models.
Yeah.
Imagen 4 and VO 3. Imagen 4 is their latest image generation model.
Better pictures?
Richer images, more nuanced colors and details, they claim, and significantly better at rendering text and typography within the image. They showed a poster creation example with the Chrome Dino.
Huh, okay. Faster too.
Much faster. A variant that's 10x faster. Plus easy in-app editing.
Nice. And VO3, the video model.
Yeah, the new state-of-the-art video generation model improved visual quality, stronger understanding of physics,
Okay.
and the really big news, native audio generation.
It makes its own sounds.
Yes. Sound effects, background sounds, even dialogue. They showed a funny example with a wise owl and a nervous badger talking.
Wow.
And another one with realistic ocean sounds. That ability for VO to create its own audio tracks opens up a whole new world of creative possibilities for video content available today.
That's amazing. Truly generative video now.
Seems like it.
They also spent some time talking about AI specifically for creators and their commitment to responsible innovation, right?
They did. They highlighted collaborations with artists through things like the Music AI Sandbox and Lyria, which is their AI tool for musicians. They showed an example with Shankar Mahadevan.
Right.
Lyria 2 is now available for enterprises, YouTube creators, and musicians. It underscores the potential of AI as a powerful tool for artistic expression.
And they talked about watermarking, synthide.
Yes, their ongoing work with Synth to create invisible watermarks for AI-generated content.
Yeah.
And their efforts to expand its use and roll out new detectors. That's really important for building trust and addressing potential misuse as this stuff gets better.
Yeah, knowing what's AI generated is becoming critical.
Absolutely. As generative AI becomes more powerful, having reliable ways to identify it is crucial for transparency and combating misinformation. The progress with synthide is a positive step.
And they showed a film collaboration.
Yeah, with filmmaker Darren Aronofsky and his company Primordial Soup. They use VO for storytelling in a short film called Ancestra, combining live action with VO-generated video.
Showing its creative potential in high-end production.
Exactly. And then they introduced Flow.
Flow, another tool.
A new AI filmmaking tool that combines VO, Imagen, and Gemini, all aimed at creatives.
What does it do?
Allows you to basically upload your creative ingredients, scripts, storyboards, reference images, and then generate content. It offers precise camera controls, lets you extend clips, integrates with editing software, and even brings in Lyria for music. They showed an example of a grandpa building a flying car.
Wow, that sounds like a potential game changer for aspiring filmmakers.
It really could be. Flow has the potential to democratize filmmaking, giving creators intuitive AI tools to bring their cinematic visions to life more easily and efficiently.
Okay. And finally, they announced new subscription plans.
Right. New Google AI subscription plans. There's Google AI Pro, which is global, includes the full suite of AI products, higher rate limits, special features like Gemini Advanced,
Okay.
and then Google AI Ultra, initially US only, global soon. This one has the highest rate limits, earliest access to new stuff, including that 2.5 Pro Deep Think mode we talked about, Flow with VO3, and it bundles in YouTube Premium and more storage.
So different tiers for different levels of usage and access.
Exactly, providing users with more choices based on their individual needs and how much they plan to use Google's AI offerings.
Gotcha. Okay. Shifting gears one last time to Android XR and ambient AI, this felt like looking a bit further into the future.
It did. They really painted a picture of AI becoming more seamlessly integrated into our physical surroundings, moving beyond just our phones to things like watches, car dashboards, TVs.
AI everywhere, basically. Ambient.
Right. And Android XR is presented as the first Android platform built specifically for this Gemini era. It supports headsets, glasses, and potentially more form factors down the line.
And built with partners.
Yeah, built in collaboration with Samsung and optimized for Snapdragon processors with Qualcomm, highlighting that tight integration of hardware and software needed for good XR.
Okay. We saw some demos. Headsets.
We did. Gemini on headsets like Samsung's prototype, Project Muhan. It showed this kind of virtual infinite screen concept.
Right. Multiple virtual monitors.
Yeah. And integrated Google apps like Maps in XR, even an MLB app integration showing player stats pulled by Gemini. That's slated for later this year.
Okay. And the glasses, those seemed interesting.
The Android XR glasses, yeah.
Oh.
Designed to be lightweight, potentially for all-day wear. They have a camera, microphones, speakers, and an optional in-lens display. But they work closely with your phone.
So the phone does the heavy lifting?
Seems like it. They showed a demo with Nishta and Dieter backstage at I/O using the glasses.
What could they do?
Things like text messaging, launching Gemini with voice, identifying a band on a photo wall, playing music. They identified a coffee shop nearby Bloomsgiving,
Okay.
got navigation to it, booked a coffee meeting and calendar, took a photo, and that live chat translation demo.
The Hindi and Farsi one.
Yeah, translating live into English in the glasses display. That was particularly impressive, even if, yeah, it looked maybe a little nerve-wracking doing it live on stage.
For sure. But it shows the potential.
Absolutely. These demos offered a compelling glimpse into how XR could seamlessly blend the digital and physical worlds with AI assistance. Imagine having instant access to information, communication, real-time translations, all without constantly pulling out your phone.
And partnerships for stylish glasses.
Right. They announced they were extending the Samsung partnership to the glasses and collaborating with eyewear partners Gentle Monster and Warby Parker to build stylish frames with Android XR built in. Developer access later this year.
So they're thinking about making them look good too, which is important for adoption.
Definitely. Aesthetics and wearability are key for something you wear on your face.
Okay. They wrap things up by sharing some really inspiring examples of AI being used for social good.
Yeah, that was a nice touch. Things like FireSat, A planned satellite constellation for near real-time wildfire detection?
Yeah, that could save lives.
Potentially, yeah. And using winged drone deliveries for relief efforts after Hurricane Helene. It's a good reminder of the potential positive impact of this technology beyond just our convenience and entertainment.
Absolutely.
These examples really highlight the potential for AI to tackle some of the world's most pressing challenges, from environmental conservation to humanitarian aid.
And the story about Sundar Pichai's parents.
Yeah, their experience riding in a Waymo autonomous vehicle in San Francisco. It served as a powerful personal reminder of the transformative potential of technology to improve lives, especially for accessibility.
A nice human touch to end on.
It was.
So as we bring our deep dive here to a close, it's clear that, well, Google is pushing the boundaries of AI at an absolutely incredible pace.
Undeniably.
We've seen major advancements in their Gemini foundation models, a much deeper integration of AI into everyday products like search and the Gemini app, and some truly groundbreaking research in areas like 3D communication and augmented reality.
Yeah.
The vision for a more helpful, personalized, and proactive AI-powered future, it feels like it's rapidly becoming a reality.
It really does. The significant leaps in Gemini's intelligence and efficiency are unlocking this wave of new features and capabilities. And these have the potential to really transform how we interact with technology and, the world around us. The reimagining of search with AI mode, the continued evolution of the Gemini app, they point towards a future where AI is a much more integral and hopefully helpful part of our daily lives.
Yeah.
And the potential of Android XR to bring these intelligent experiences to new kinds of devices beyond the phone.
Yeah.
That's incredibly exciting to think about.
It really is. So, as you've been listening to all of this today, what has really caught your attention? Which of these advancements do you think has the biggest potential to maybe change your own life?
Yeah. What stands out?
Or maybe there's a particular area that you find especially intriguing and you want to learn more about. Perhaps you're already thinking about how you might start using some of these new AI tools and technologies in your own day-to-day.
Lots to think about.
Definitely. That's your food for thought as we wrap up this deep dive. Until our next exploration, take care.